the Justice League. This is the first live action Justice League movie ever. It's the first time we get to see Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Superman, Batman, The Flash, and Cyborg in one movie. And in this movie, it's about the team coming together to fight this threatening force, this alien war general called Steppenwolf. And he comes to Earth to gather three, alien devices called mother boxes. And that's pretty much the movie. The Justice League come together to fight Steppenwolf, who's this really powerful war general, and his evil army, who's out to gather these items to pretty much take over the world. Your general take over the world plot. So this is, it was an exciting movie going into this because, like I said, this is the first live-action Justice League movie. Like the Avengers, this is something people have been waiting for a very, very long time. So there's a lot of good and bad things about this movie, but let's start with the good things. One of the good things, or one of the things that I really enjoyed, was the Justice League, the characters themselves. It was great to see them in action. It was great to see them together. It was great to see them interacting. This is why we're here to watch this movie, to see the Justice League. And if they didn't work as a team, if they didn't have these great moments, this movie would completely fail and it'd just be a big bomb. But thankfully, they come together and they're pretty enjoyable. I like seeing them interact with each other. Aquaman messing with the Flash, Wonder Woman talking to Batman. There's a lot of great moments. So that's one thing I really enjoyed. And this movie also introduces, a lot of the team for the first time. Some of the team members had cameos in Batman v Superman and freaking Suicide Squad. But this is the first time we actually see them as full-fledged characters in a movie. So you have Cyborg, who I actually really liked in this movie. He didn't do too much, but they give you enough, and the actor, I don't know his name, who played Cyborg, did a really fantastic job. So I can't wait to watch the Cyborg movie in a few years. Aquaman, whose movie comes out next year, was fantastic. He was one of my favorite parts of the movie. He was awesome and hilarious, and I can't wait to see what they do with him in the next, or in his own movie. And then there's the Flash, who I actually thought was the one character that I was gonna like the most, but I only thought he was okay. He wasn't a bad character. He was funny, and the effects of his super speed was really, really, really cool. It was something I really liked. But one of his reactions, or a lot of his reactions, was to be surprised and just kind of like a super fanboy. So he would do this kind of face several times throughout the movie, and after the first few times, I kind of got tired of it. And I was like, come on, Flash, you're kind of better than this. He was too much of a goofball, idiot type character, I guess. But he wasn't a bad character. Wonder Woman is still fantastic, coming off of Batman v Superman and Wonder Woman. Batman, I liked his portrayal a lot more in this movie than Batman v Superman, even though he didn't really have any cool epic moments like in that movie. And then Superman, which it isn't a spoiler, he was in the promotional material and in one of the trailers. He was really good in this movie. I liked his portrayal a lot more than in the last two movies he was in. So I can't wait to see more Superman. He was really, really cool and fantastic. They had some great action scenes. There was a good Wonder Woman and Amazon action scenes in the beginning of the movie. A good action scene in the middle with Superman, and the action scenes towards the end were pretty good. They weren't amazing, but they were pretty good. But unfortunately, those are the only ththings I really enjoyed about this movie. The characters and their interactions and some of the action scenes. The plot wasn't very good. It was, like I said, Steppenwolf just kind of comes out of nowhere. Like, after Superman dies, they're like, oh, the mother boxes said Superman was dead, and they drew me back to the planet. So I felt that was kind of ridiculous. It didn't really make any sense. And that's another thing that bothered me. This movie kind of pushed Superman as this, like, oh, he was a big hope to the world, and he saved people all the time, and he was just this big influential person, which in Man of Steel, he didn't do anything until the end of the movie. He didn't even exist as Superman. And then he just kind of destroyed the cities and everything, which was a big part of Batman v Superman, that a lot of people hated him. But they made him seem like everyone in the world missed him, and everyone was losing hope because he had died or something. So that was another thing I didn't enjoy. Like I said, Steppenwolf was kind of generic. He was this big bad, but he didn't really do much. He just kind of showed up to take Mother Box. They fought him, and he would just leave. And then the way he was kind of defeated towards the end was really kind of disappointing. There's a lot of plot holes. Like I said, the Superman thing is something that bothers me, but a lot of the stuff they set up, like in Batman v Superman, just kind of doesn't happen. And like, if you're aware of this movie, this movie had a lot of problems. Like, Zack Snyder had to leave towards the end of filming, so Josh Whedon, who directed the Avengers, took over a good like 20% of the movie, and you can kind of tell, you know, some of his scenes they're more joking, like lighthearted, and you know, they're filmed at different angles, so you can kind of tell the difference between, you know, their filming. And then there was the runtime. This movie is only 2 hours long, and that's including credits and everything, which there are 2 end credit scenes, one mid, which is a joke, and then one that sets up something for a future movie, so keep an eye out for that. But the runtime doesn't work for this movie, because like I said, a lot of these characters are first really introduced in this movie. So the first half of the movie I felt was like really, really slow, because they have to introduce, you know, Cyborg, the Flash, and Aquaman. We have to see where Wonder Woman and Batman are. So that takes up a lot of the runtime. And then they have to bring Superman back to life, or he's brought back to life in the movie. And that takes a good chunk of the movie as well, because they kind of have to explain it and show it and everything. So it's a good amount of the movie that is just taken up out of these things that, you know, should have never been done. They should have never killed off Superman. That way they never would have had to explain, you know, his resurrection in this movie, because that takes up a good chunk of time. And then, you know, they didn't have to have movies for all these characters, but I feel like at least maybe Cyborg, you know, because they barely touch on his backstory and everything. And if you're not really familiar with the character, which I feel like a lot of people might not be, because he's not like a big A-list hero like a lot of these other heroes. Like, he's in Teen Titans, and they recently brought him into the Justice League in the comics and everything. But even I'm not too familiar with him, and I'm a big comic book fan, so I kind of wish they brought his movie first and then they brought him into the Justice League. But overall, I kind of feel like there was a lot of time, because this movie is so short, that they didn't get a lot of time to expand on the storyline and everything, kind of flesh it out. You know, there was a lot of time just setting up these characters, getting a little, or letting us know who they are, knowing their backstory. And then, you know, like I said, resurrecting Superman. It's a lot of time that's kind of just wasted for this short movie, you know, for 2 hours, because it's a big movie with a lot of characters, a big bunch of action scenes, a bunch of going around the world and everything. So it needed, you know, at least maybe 20 more minutes. And I'm sure we'll get an extended cut, you know, when it comes out on DVD and Blu-ray. But I feel like the theatrical version definitely required it, so, you know, it didn't seem so stuffed, and, you know, there was more room to breathe. But overall, I mean, I think those are all the things that I don't like about the movie. And overall, I want to say that I did enjoy the movie. It wasn't the greatest movie ever. I feel like for the first Justice League movie, it should have been way, way better. Like, there's a lot of animated, you know, versions of the Justice League coming together that are a lot better. Like the original Justice League cartoon, if you watch the pilot movie, I feel like that's a lot better than this movie. And then there's a direct-to-DVD movie called Justice League War, which is a lot better movie, I feel, which does the new 52 version of the Justice League coming together. So those movies are a lot better than this one. But overall, you know, I don't think it's a horrible movie. If you're a fan of comic books, definitely go watch it. I think, you know, the Justice League are one of the biggest teams in comics. They're very important. A lot of the characters are big and very important for the comic book world. And you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't watch it. You know, I had a lot of complaints about this movie, but overall, like I said, it's a decent movie. I didn't hate it. I didn't have expectations going in and thinking it was going to be bad or good. I just kind of went hoping that it would be a good movie. So I'm not disappointed, but I also didn't come out just super pumped and excited for this movie. Overall, like I said, it's a decent movie. I recommend, you know, go watching it if you're a comic book fan. If you're not big into the comics and you haven't seen the last movies, probably skip it. It's, like I said, it's an okay movie, not amazing. Overall, I give it a 6 out of 10. You know, decent movie, not fantastic, not great, but it's enjoyable. It has its good moments, and if people like it, I can understand it. Just For me, I just came out going, yeah, it's an okay movie. So like I said, okay movie. If you want to go watch it, go watch it. 6 out of 10. You know, if you watched the movie, what did you think of it? Did you think it was bad? Did you think it was good? You know, let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out. Hey, if you like this video, we have several other awesome videos you can check out. And again, thanks for watching.